Hello, everybody. I have Mike here with me today, and we are going to be talking a little bit about Navient and our culture. So, before we dive into some of the questions that I have for you, Mike, would you mind introducing yourself?
Well, I am Mike Suter, and I founded Naviant. It wasn't Naviant back then, but I did found Naviant. Gosh, I think it's been 32, 33 years ago.
Wonderful, thank you. You mentioned the idea that at one point when you founded the company, it wasn't Navient. So, for anybody that isn't familiar, we used to be MTM. Can you just talk a little bit about the journey from MTM to Navient and kind of what our company history looks like?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Many years ago, I got out of college and I was in this industry very early. Back in the day, companies were looking for ways to get rid of paper records, and microfilm was the medium at that time to miniaturize paper records. And I started selling microfilm equipment after college. Worked for a company for a number of years. That company went a different direction, and I really liked the space I was in. So I did quit. Went home, told my wife, Lisa, I quit my job. We had two young children. Actually, we had an 18-month-old, and she was pregnant with our second child. And she didn't panic. I was surprised by that. My wife is also a pharmacist, so we knew we could always fall back on her income for a while. But we started a company back then called More Than Micrographics, and that's where the MTM came from. I do remember one thing that I think is critically important. Lisa said, you can start the company, you can work really hard, but there's one priority you're going to have in this world, and that's your family. And she said, you will be home at night to have dinner with your kids. You will read books to your children, and then you can go work the rest of the night. I don't care. But that's how we started the company. And it was important to me, even back then, family should be priority. And we've always said that to our employees, and that came from day one with my wife, Lisa. So that's the beginning of MTM. Now, MTM was selling microfilm equipment to get rid of paper records. Then after probably 12 to 15 years, we started selling a software that allowed people to scan their records instead of microfilm, but it was a very back-end process type solution. And from there, we evolved. We evolved to the company we are today. So hopefully that's, yeah.
That's perfect. I think it's important for people to understand when they are talking to Navient about transformation that we are no stranger to that from our own culture and our own transformation and kind of how we've gotten to where we are. So we've lived and breathed it ourselves as well. You mentioned the idea of culture and how important that was from the very beginning with MTM, and I can say, working for the company, that's still a incredibly important part of what we do. And I think culture and the team that we have is really important. Would you mind talking a little bit about that culture and kind of how the people that you have working at Navient?
Yeah, I think one of the goals that I set many, many years ago was I wasn't going to be in business, make a bunch of money, sell the company, and go live on a beach somewhere. It truly was a long-term endeavor. It was always let's try and build something special so we can give back to the employees, to the customers, give back to the community. And I think what was important to us back then was creating a culture where our employees did want to stick around a while. And I'm proud to say we have employees that have been with me for over 25 years. Create an environment where people can move upward if they desire. Create a culture where we're not having constant turnover with employees because it's tough on the customers. we wanted to build a foundation where our customers got to know our employees, and they not only in the business world we do a good job, but they got to know them on a personal basis. And you can't do that when you have turnover. So we built a company where we allow people to come in, we allow people to grow with the company. Again, family should be priority. And when I used to do all the interviews, that was always one thing that I mentioned. Again, take care of your home life, because if you're happy at home, you're going to be happy at work. So anyway, a little bit about culture. I'm proud to say we got a lot of long-term employees.
Well, and I think that culture extends to beyond just taking care of, your customers. We also trust and work with one another, and that allows us to be innovative and come up with new ideas and continue to drive the company forward. One way that I always look at our summit is it's an opportunity for us to extend that culture and our thought processes on change out to our customers. And our summit is coming up in a couple months here. Can you just share, before we kind of wrap up our time together today, why you think the summit is something that executives and our customers should make a priority to join us for?
I think, one of the things that the summit has always brought forward is our customers get to meet other customers. We've never hid the fact who our customers are. Talk to other customers, find out how are we doing, find out from other customers what they're doing that's successful. And that's why the summit's always been a success. I've heard from our customers for years, thank you for putting me with this person or this one. Thank you for making the introductions, because they can reach out to the customers directly and they become friends and peers and learn from each other. That's why that summit is really cool. Also, I think it's a time when people can, our support people get to meet our customers, get to talk, engage. This year is going to be a little bit different, that they can't be face to face, but we're working on that to make sure that it's a very productive, nice environment for everybody. It'll be a safe environment this year. But it's something everybody should attend. Owners of businesses, presidents, CFOs. Again, I don't think, I remember somebody saying it was a waste of time when they attended. And we'll have hundreds of companies in attendance this year. And I think, again, we're trying to push not only the C-level people, but the IT level people. And it's something everybody will get something out of. So, and again, I'm sincere about that. It's not a waste of time. So
I'm excited. I've been away from a lot of our customers because we've all been working from home. So unless there's a specific call or engagement, I'm excited to get to, even if it's not exactly the same as it always is, have that level of engagement. And we've got some cool things up our sleeve in terms of how people are going to be able to continue that networking and continue to build those relationships. So everybody watching, come join us. I'll include a link here for you to register. But with that, Mr. Suter, thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day, everybody.